Welcome to Honest Beers. My name is Leggy, and as always, I'm joined by Walley. How you going, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm very well.
Yes?
We're in the studio.
Yes.
Big week ahead.
Yes.
Saints and Hawks won.
I know. Can you
Big
believe
ticks. Mate, it's good, and you've got a good one this week. You're up against the Baggers.
it? Yeah, well...
Can't wait for that.
We won't talk too much for it, but we
No,
can
we
talk about
won't.
that because it is an important night. It's Spud's game, so
Yes.
a very important cause for everyone. It's the Saints getting another Friday night fixture, which is quite extraordinary, 2 in a row, but having one at the G is very nice. Against the Blues, who we know have got a really great supporter fan base, so they'll have a lot of people there.
But
we
you
hope.
earned last week. You weren't this week.
You'd think so,
With the
yeah.
way you played last week and dominated a team that's competing for the 8, and everyone touted is going to be good. No, we're pathetic. Like, you've earned this week.
Well, and look, last year Spud's game was against Collingwood on Friday night at the
Yep.
G. Sorry, it was a Thursday night at the G, and the Saints won that as well. So I think it's nice when you have those big moments and everyone kind of comes together and wins. So we will be going to that game. Looking forward to it, and definitely, get around Spud's game as much as you can. Buy the merch, do all that kind of stuff. But we did the footy review yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out. There's plenty of stuff that's still newsworthy. But how was your weekend? What happened? I mean, obviously we had the election. We spoke about that a lot last week, and that was a complete landslide.
Yeah, the election was a landslide. Lee. It was sort of. I turned on the coverage because I thought, I should, I'm an adult now. I've got.
You
a
are an
family.
adult, yeah.
And I thought, I should have a look. And it was over before it started, mate.
Yeah,
honestly.
Well,
and then straight back into the
I
footy.
think that on the day of election they jumped at $1.10. I think.
Yeah, that was the thing.
$1.06 or
So
something.
the only thing is that
Coalition was
Bill
$7.
Bill Shorten lost his and how much?
$1.16.
$1.16.
2019.
And Donald Trump's first one
$5.
was $5, and Hillary at a point hit $1.10 or something.
$1.20 maybe.
Yeah, so she was so like
It can happen.
It can happen.
But I think the issue with this,
it wasn't happening.
the issue with this one was like the Libs were kind of neck and neck, and at Christmas there's actually been a few articles, a few exposés written about how confident the Dutton camp was around Christmas time, turn of the new year, and then the sort of trajectory has just gone like this for the coalition. So I feel like there wasn't as much chance of an upset based on the way the polls had declined over the course of 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And it's been an interesting for all the little other ones that jump around and do their thing, like the Greens and the Teals, and they just had a little bit of a wake up, haven't they?
Monique Ryan was celebrating on TV on Saturday night, and now she's saying that she may not have it. I actually haven't checked this morning. We're recording on Tuesday morning.
I do find that humorous.
I don't know what's happened.
You know what?
I don't know
mate, talk about going, like, as we're punters, Monique, doctor. Hey, by the way, if someone goes, is there a doctor here? Is she allowed to say me or not? She's not that sort of doctor.
I don't believe she's that sort of doctor.
Well, mate, okay, so just there you go. Monique, if you're on a plane, if you're in a restaurant and goes, is there a doctor in the house? Do not put your hand up. I will say this, though. Mon. If I can call you that, I don't give a shit.
Nick?
What?
Nick?
Nick?
Like Dominic.
Like Dominic. Nick. Nick.
Oh, shit.
From a punter to somebody that I doubt has ever stepped foot in a tab or on a racetrack. Don't go the early crow.
No.
Don't go the early crow, Nick. Don't do it. You are messing with... Do you know what you did? You stepped out of your realm and you messed in ours, which is with the punting gods. You can do all you want in your little world over there of politics. We don't give a shit. You stepped out of that and you stepped into a punting world by going the early crow, you absolute goose.
It was, and it was akin to sort of Flemington Straight.
Yeah,
300 metres from the finish line.
Kingston Town can't win.
Yeah, it's a bit of that. And then also the other one was it Zoe Daniel? Was it that seat?
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, there was a bit going on there with that.
Haven't all the ones that come in the electorates where there's so many wealthy people they can afford to be woke. They've now gone, wow, and we made a mistake. Is that what?
Well, this is the interesting thing with the Monique Ryan stuff and the swing is that seat of Kooyong has actually got a little bit of Higgins into it now because I don't know what happened to all the seats because it's all the jurisdictions have changed. So Monique was essentially talking to a slightly newer audience, and that's maybe why there's been a bit of a shift.
Crazy idea.
The people of Toorak don't want Monique.
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough too. Nick, there's punters in Toorak, obviously, but you've cost yourself. And the Greens do.
Yeah.
Adam
Bant. So that's my seat, the seat of
Bant.
Melbourne, very much inner city. I believe he's just going to cling on, but
he might not.
But like ridiculous swing. Like he was $1.06. He was $1.06 to reclaim a seat that I think he's had for 10 years. like through 3 elections.
Haven't seen you in 10 years.
No. Seen some funny pranks on social with Adam
There you
Band
go.
of late.
Anyway,
So the election came and went.
It came and went. 100% came and went. It was over. We didn't even like notice it. And
I said that I wouldn't watch a thing, and I woke up the next morning and knew that Labor would have won, but I actually hadn't seen anything. I completely dodged all of it.
it was the best thing for it not to matter because all we had to do was just dial in and watch that footy game on Saturday night, which was great, but also brutal and all that. Anyway, it was 100% over before it started.
And so, like, that was last weekend, but this weekend I wanted to ask you because this is a very important weekend for everyone. It's Mother's Day. And for you on a number of fronts, your wife and your mother and your mother-in-law. So there's 3 women in your life.
And big for Jack as well because like
he's starting to get it now.
Yeah, it's big for him. He takes it very seriously. He's making things, making cards. He'll do stuff at school, so he'll do that. But he also wants to get the actual presents, and he'll do all of that. So him and I will have our little shopping expedition together and do all that. All out. But so that'll go well. To be honest, Mother's Day and Father's Day in our house are pretty big.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, Father's Day is I don't care.
It's sort of your freebie day.
That's my day. Yeah. So I take that over my birthday. Kylie's birthday's still the one, but Mother's Day we'll be doing. Jack will be playing footy in the morning.
Yep.
So we'll catch up with the fam, with the grandparents. We'll do a lunch. At an undisclosed location, and then really it's mum's choice. Whatever Kylie wants to do in the arvo, if she wants to drop Jack at one of the grandparents' house and go to a wine bar, we'll do that. If she wants to, all of us to go for a park and kick the footy, we'll do that. I don't know. Yeah, it's her choice. I'm looking forward to it. And the good thing is, of course, the Hawks are playing on the Saturday.
Yes,
so no pressure.
What are you going to get, Colin? You've just spoken about some of those things.
She listens. I'm hoping she listens to this.
I don't know if she does.
I don't think she does.
No. Well, there was something we were talking.
I reckon what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go 3 things. Something like really nice, something in the reading area because she's reading.
She reads a lot. I've sat at your house while the footy's on and she's read.
She's reading.
Yeah,
well, it's great for me because she loves reading. So and then probably something maybe some shoes like runners or something. But
this
is funny.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I was saying to you before when I air, and you just wisely said, "Look, save it for the show." I've realised we're now. Kylie and I are done. We are boring but not boring. Suburban family. That's what we are. We are now a suburban family, and we've a couple of things were securing it, and then she just locked it away. So I'll tell you the things.
Define this suburban family for me.
So I'm coaching. I'm assistant coach at Jack's basketball.
Yep.
Kylie's the team manager of his footy team.
Yep.
So they're 2 big
kicks.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Both cars are SUVs. They're not expensive ones or anything like that, but they're SUVs. Both, they're big enough that if we need to travel, put bags in and do that.
Yeah.
One's a smaller SUV than the other, but they're both
still SUVs. Yeah.
Still SUVs. There is no pub in our suburb. Like it's just cafes only. So you're starting. Okay, dry zone.
Wine bar.
Yeah, that's fine. That sort of doubles down. We can walk to Jack's school. All of those things. That's all fine. We do that. There was a couple of signs around the school holidays where we were down at a local park and there was a cafe opposite, and some of the parents were having drinks while the kids were playing at the park kicking the footy. Yeah. And it's drinks at a cafe in the afternoon. It was like, oh, this is real community. It's great. Yeah. Every time I get a coffee, I'll see one of the other parents from school. All of those things. Yeah. But Kylie secured that we're done. We're in. If anyone was thinking about contacting me to go out and have a massive night out on Chapel or something, it's not happening anymore because Kylie's joined a book club. Whoa. So we are 1,000% done.
Can I just say, like 8 weeks ago, you were at Bar Bambi with Gronk till the wee hours in the morning. So you can't tell me that if someone said that they weren't trying to secure you at a nightclub, you couldn't be swayed.
This is true.
That was 8 weeks ago, I reckon.
I know. I have a bit in me. Yeah. But the thing is, book club has been secured. I don't know. They're reading this thing. It sounds like Lord of the Rings stuff.
How often do they meet? Or do they not meet? Is it just one of those ones?
No. They meet. They got got dinner on Thursday.
Do they read in groups or is it?
No. How it works is you all go away and then they got a WhatsApp group and they talk about the books and they're all reading the same series of books and then they talk all the time and then they would catch up for dinner maybe once a month.
Is it like?
But they see each other more.
Is it like middle-aged kind of erotic novels, like when everyone read 50 Shades of Grey? And
it's kind of like there's this series of books. It's sounding like Lord of the Rings, and not Lord of the Rings. What's it called? Game of Thronesy, where it's that sort of setup.
Violence.
But my understanding is all that was pretty
medieval
much
sex. Yeah.
So I think it's in that realm. So it's not like full on like 50 Shades of Grey sex books.
Okay.
But it is
But
also,
there is enough.
it's definitely not Harry Potter.
No,
It's somewhere in the middle of the
MA
two
15
worlds.
plus.
It is MA 15 plus.
Yep.
And there's some dragons and shit in there. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't understand it for me. So I don't understand reading.
What's the
when it's fiction? I've never read. I have never completed a fiction book. I've never completed a novel.
I did when I was a kid.
I just watched the movie. I got To Kill a Mockingbird at school. I went and got the video and watched it.
Yeah.
No, but biographies, real stuff.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
I just don't like fiction. I would just rather watch the movie. Anyway,
question
so
without
we're
notice.
done. Yeah, go.
What a female book club for middle-aged women? What is the male equivalent?
Fuck, she wouldn't like the middle-aged comment, but that's all right.
Well, is it?
We're getting there.
Yeah, I don't even know what middle-aged. No, I
reckon
I don't even know.
Isn't that 50s? 50?
But I look at life.
Because the aim is to get to a ton, isn't it?
Yeah, but the life
Aren't we trying to
expectancy is
get
like
100?
80, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. But that means people are starting to hit middle-aged, late 30s.
But that's how I think someone called me middle-aged the other day. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
40s?
Okay.
All right, regardless.
You're
Anyway,
just there, yeah.
So, book club.
What's the male equivalent? And you can't just say punters club. But what?
Well, this is funny because
Because you're meeting up with new people, right?
100%.
It's not your mates.
Oh, yeah, but you can create a punters club with new people, Simon.
That's true.
I actually think it is. So
Create a punters club with anyone, really.
Yeah. So Kylie said to me, she said, "You've got to start doing stuff." I think that the equivalent,
Like
for
start
us-
meeting new people? Or-
No, just hanging out with like the some of the dads from school and doing, because I do. But she goes, "You got to." I go, "It's a bit different for us." And she goes, to do something, and it's like equivalent for us would be the one we're tossing around at the moment is maybe starting up like a pickup basketball team.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be,
like at a coordinated competition, not just on the streets and challenging people that walk past.
No, not just
Hey.
so that's one. Another one, the punters go just catching up to watch Friday Night Footy or
With the dads.
with some of the dads. Long lunches I've suggested
That's
as
a
one,
good one.
a
Yeah.
choice
That's a good one.
into the Dale or
Go see
something.
Dimmer at Lamaro's.
Yeah,
as well.
all of that. Yeah, ticking all the boxes.
So you're being challenged to do that. Well, not challenged.
Suggested, but I go, this is fine, but you got to understand it's not like you. Guys are not the same. We're not going to go and read a book, communicate on, and then go and have dinner for 2 hours
And talk about
have
the book.
a glass of wine or two, then come home and go, that was a great night. No. We're going to go to lunch at midday and come home at 11 smashed with a wallet full of cash from the quaddie or less money than we started with. There's no fucking in between, Simon. So that's what's going to happen. So my idea of a book club is literally to read the form with a group of other blokes and punt all day and drink piss.
Is she thinking that you're going to go out with this group of dads and not come home?
No.
Okay.
She's thinking, like, you guys should go watch the footy.
So why do you have to do it with new people? Why can't you just do it with us? Like normal?
No, it's not that. She's just almost like you should have some time, like some guy time and that. Like I've been sending her these videos of like inspirational, like Instagram videos about boys' weekends and guys' weekend. I'm like, you need to understand. Like this is one of this English bloke going, I never want to give it up. I get on the train with my mates and that and crack that first tin and just no responsibilities and all that. And I'm just like, you want to run through a brick wall, and I'm like, you need to understand that, like, gather around, this is how I feel. So I've been drilling like all of this content away, just going, look, this is real.
Have you seen that video? I've seen it a few times. I found it on Instagram, and a lot of people have sent it to me as well. It's like it's these 4 or 5 guys that go on a lads trip to Afghanistan, and they're showing like all the images, and they're like, just a reminder, you got to go on that lads trip to Afghanistan. But it's terrible. Like, they're just in the sand the whole time. There's not much going on. But it just kind of reminded me then of what you're saying.
It is, but it's so true. It's
you
like
could have a great weekend anywhere with the boys.
Like if you think about gather round, if you think about like AJ's Bucks last year, like these events were just incredible, and they're not
all very close to each other last year.
Exactly. It was just insane. But like anyway, so that's taking it to another level. But I'm going to work out something, and I'll keep you updated on what it's going to be. It could be anything. It could be, as I said, I do miss sport because I'm not playing. I'm not playing footy.
You
or
said
cricket.
you did say this, and
that was the thing. I want to play competitive sport again this year, so that might be it. Golf's not cutting it. I love playing golf, but I'm not good enough at golf. That I mean, I people would be jealous of how I play golf. Do you know why? I don't care when I'm shit and I have a bad shot. I just go, fuck it and move on. So I actually really enjoy golf because it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't have a handicap. I don't care. I don't care. My whole thing is if I play with a mate, always play match.
You'd be a good Ambrose player.
Always play match play. Yeah, because I'm inconsistent as.
But it's just like you don't care. You're just having fun.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that I'll give you a couple of shots throughout the day that you'll use when you need them.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that I'll just play match play with a mate, and then I don't have a handicap. And then if I go out myself, it's just I just want to get under 100 on whatever course I'm on, and then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Simple. And if I don't get under 100, I'm not happy for about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but that's not fulfilling the mateship team. We want to win something.
Yeah.
Well, I need to be able to do that.
Yeah, interesting.
I miss winning flags. What can I say?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's plenty of like over 35s basketball comps you could. Pato plays that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Speaking of Pato, this is a segue.
Yeah.
Do you know you're across the story? Obviously, you're across the story in the news about the other famous Pato in Australia.
Yeah, there's 2 Patos now.
The other
so
famous
we've got the great
Adam Patterson,
and then
we've got Aaron Patterson, who is the accused murderer in the Latrobe Valley, the mushroom killer, as they call her. How closely are you following this?
I wasn't following it as closely as I'm going to be now. I saw it was a little brief on one of the shots. I just happened to be watching the television. It was on in the background at the right time.
Yeah.
It must have been coming out of something or going into something. I don't even remember what it was, whether it was in a current affair or 6 minutes, whatever it was. The fact that it was just on Fredo, it was luck.
Yeah.
Do you know what it probably was? It was probably just on there ahead of a footy broadcast or something, and it happened to be on 7 instead of Fox for some stupid reason. And this was last week, and it was simply they started talking through what had happened and the breakdown that the prosecution had put forward. Yeah. And let's just call this an elevator pitch on why she's probably going to jail.
Yeah.
So she invited her ex-husband and family over for lunch, right?
Yep.
There was some research done before this on the location of poisonous mushrooms in the area. Her phone pinged in these locations prior to the lunch on where these mushrooms could be harvested. There was a beef Wellington cooked, which requires dehydrated mushrooms. She had a food dehydrator. The mushrooms were dehydrated, and then these mushrooms were put into the beef Wellington. The dehydrator, whatever you call it, was then she just drove it out and dropped it at a tip. They found this. It's got her prints on it and the mushroom residue in it. So it's all mounting up.
It's an open and shut case.
It's an open and shut case, but this isn't it. This is something out of, I don't know, Scooby-Doo or some cartoon crime show or something so ridiculous. At the table, when she fed, and then there's the whole thing with the kids who didn't like mushrooms the next day. At the table, when she fed them all out and served all the food, and her plate was a different color to the other 4.
Oh.
You are kidding me. It's like, oh, guilty. I've done something here. Her plate was a different color.
Do you reckon if you were one of the unfortunate, like very
apparently
sad
one of them mentioned it to the other. So there is record of it being mentioned. That's weird. Pato's serving us on a different plate.
The other famous Patterson.
Hopefully she's not trying anything here. So that for me says, I reckon that is something out of like a show, right? That's a joke.
This will be a movie series there'll be some shit Australian drama that will like over 6 parts.
I'm going to pitch it.
They'll be on Stan.
I think.
Who should play?
Simon, just wait a little bit because time and tragedy equals humor. I think the Pato story needs to be a comedy in the future, but further on in the future.
What about like a dramatic musical, like a comedic musical?
Comedic musical.
What do you reckon? Really over the top
and like real super dramatic.
Yeah.
Who's playing her?
I have an idea, but I can't say it. I just think it would be highly inappropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
I can't say it. We'll get cancelled if I say it.
Do you want to say it and we'll beep it so I can hear it?
Yeah. Olivia, can we beat this?
Yeah, we'll be able to be.
I think
It is. It's 100%. That's perfect. I'm going to leave it out, but we 100% wouldn't get cancelled for that. I think that is a respected actor
I think that's
who would be able to deliver the role to perfection.
We're beeping that.
Yeah, we will be. We're still beeping
It's going to be
for
beeped.
safety. But I think you're right. But yeah, so I would wait and do this. But the bottom line is, the whole thing is, I mean, it's actually, jokes aside, the whole thing's a tragedy, but it's laughable that you're just not going, I'm putting it. Like, when I heard the plate thing, I was like, that's just extraordinary.
Yeah. But, like, thinking about this strategically, if she was to plead guilty.
Oh, allegedly, by the way.
If she was to plead guilty, then all she's doing is fighting over she's kind of, I'm not saying she's
not going to get off.
She can't. You wouldn't think that she would, but if she pleads guilty, she's just going to get she's 50 years old. She's probably going to die in jail. I don't know. Maybe she just thought there's a chance. She's probably been ill-advised. Like, there's so many things at play here.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't understand what could possibly be going on in that world. Like, how you would, anyway. Yeah. It needs to be, the only thing I will say is it needs to be done swiftly so that other poor family, that's the bad part, can get closure. Yeah. But it's
Did you know that she was in like a true crime group that they talked about? Like,
was she?
Yeah.
So that this all adds to it.
Yeah. I actually think she probably would have had like imaginations and thoughts of doing this kind of thing. Like, and which is a bit sick.
And your ex is the appropriate target for it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway, as I said, the whole thing feels like we're talking about a bad TV show.
But people are going on the witness stand that were part of this true crime Facebook group,
and saying,
"Oh,
we're part of it. We're not shocked."
Yeah, like crazy.
Jesus.
Absolutely madness. Now, a bit of a random one. We all know this is a Kendrick Lamar podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you see the news on Friday?
I did.
Kendrick Lamar is headlining Spilt Milk, which I had to look up. I had heard of it before, but I believe it's not really a festival that I've ever really considered before. But
give us some of the other acts. I think is the way to go.
Well, we've got Doechii and Schoolboy Q. Okay. So he's bringing out some of his friends, but let me just get this. So let me just get this lineup.
Be nice to know like previous You do that. I'm gonna have a look at previous headliners.
Yeah, it's a bit of a It's definitely a bit of a random. It's a bit of a random festival. Like, I don't. I'll bring up this year's one. You go for sort of previous ones. But if my phone would actually load, it'd be
Lord.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Dom
good.
Dollar, Childish Gambino, Khalid. So it's a bit of a mix, but there's not. This is.
That's not bad.
Post Malone, Flume. So it's not completely out of like what you would. No, definitely not bad, but it's not completely outside of the realms of possibility.
But it's in Ballarat on December 6th. Should we go? Or because I'm fairly confident he'll play like Marvel Stadium. He'll do a big stadium tour in Australia because he's doing a stadium tour in the US. And normally what he does is he does the same stuff. Like when he came out.
Do you think he'll do Marvel?
Yeah, he'll do Marvel, I reckon.
Leave that with me.
He's selling out stadium tours in the US at the moment. He's playing in Canada, in Toronto on Father's Day, which is just extraordinary. But anyway, it's a real dig at Drake. But I love that. The level of pettiness is absurd. But no, it's interesting.
Michael Jordan level of pettiness, and I love it.
But I just feel with him, like there's probably a reason why he's chosen this festival. Like how does that even surely promoter doesn't just contact.
Is it a day festival, Simon, or is it a 3-day festival?
I don't know.
It's a 1-day festival. Okay, Olivia's telling us it's a 1-day festival. My interest levels went from maybe to I'm interested because I'm
not going for a 3-day festival.
No, I'm not doing the tents and stuff. But a 1-day festival in Ballarat.
Yeah,
love the Rat. Oh my god, you know what else is the Rat?
Go to Sovereign Hill.
You know what else is there?
Ballarat Racecourse.
24-hour pizza. Or you can eat Pizza Hut.
Shit.
Or you can eat Pizza Hut for breakfast into Kendrick.
I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that.
Okay, so we'll look at this. So the chances are...
Is that the same weekend as the Adelaide test?
Oh, killing me, Kendrick.
Like, could it be the same?
No. Adelaide test, I'm sure, is like the 15th or something.
Should we get some... I'm looking at the event info now, and they've got sort of like... I've stayed in Ballarat before because I've been to the Ballarat Cup. I stayed at a...
I've stayed many times.
Stayed at a pub, I think, from memory. There's plenty of places we could stay.
No, it's the Brisbane test.
Okay, well, no one cares about that.
Starts on the 17th.
Yep. Sorry, Rambo, but no one cares about the Brisbane test.
Sorry, Rambo.
Okay. Well, I think we should look into this, and maybe we do the all you can eat Pizza Hut at the same time. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, this could work well. What day was it? The 6th?
6th of December. When? Let me just have a look at when.
Okay, we could be on here. That's absolutely fantastic.
Oh my God.
What is it?
The Ballarat Cup.
Is what?
The predicted date. I don't know why it's predicted.
6th.
December 6th.
So.
Because remember they pushed it back?
So we go to the Ballarat Cup during the day and then go see Kendrick at night is the thing.
Pretty extraordinary. So all you can eat Pizza Hut. All you can eat Pizza Hut. We're clipping this up. We're clipping this up. We're going to need to get a convoy.
Okay, so it'll be all you can tell it. Does this interest you, punters?
Yep.
All you can eat Pizza Hut for breakfast.
Yep.
We'll get them to open early. Ballarat Cup during the day. Yep. Get the quaddie. Go and see Kendrick at a festival in Ballarat after it. I mean, that is insane.
You'd think that the tour, like the event company, would do a better job than having that on the like Ballarat, right? What events there in Ballarat? The Dogs play there a couple of times. You got the Ballarat Cup. And
there would be crossover too. Is the Ballarat Cup might not be as big as it once was?
It probably isn't, but
it used to be massive. The Ballarat
I wouldn't
Cup
have thought there'd be many people doing both.
No,
because spilt milk is during the day as well.
Yeah.
So
all right.
What are we going to rock up in suits to Kendrick? Maybe.
Hopefully it's not too hot. Then it might be split milk.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Olivia's just giving you absolutely nothing there. But no, let's like jump into the DMs.
That was for Hammy Goodman. That joke is for Hammy Goodman.
That's it. Everyone else, now. Yeah. But does this interest you, punters? Is the question?
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll interest the punters. All right, that's fantastic.
Moving on. So after the election, it was very one-sided, as we know, like landslide victory to the ALP. You decided that in your head, you wanted to come up with the top 5 biggest one-sided moments in sport.
Yeah. Now this is a different sort of list. So the way I did this is I looked at a few different sports that we like, and I looked at some examples to talk through that maybe we don't talk to as much. And the idea being, off the back of the ocean, it was one-sided, but there's always with that a level of disappointment, obviously, because it's like anything. It's like any sporting event. There's greatness, but there's usually a losing team. Now, a lot of the time, the absolute biggest moments overshadow that.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to look at is go, okay, what are the biggest annihilations that also come with a tinge of disappointment? All right. I'm going to start at the top. We're going to go. These is I actually hadn't ordered these.
Yep.
So we can do it however we want. These are just the ones that I came up with because they're all pretty average. All right. I'll start with AFL because I had to do an AFL one. Yep. Now AFL one, I thought it's got to be a grand final. That's the first thing, and it's got to be a walloping. Now I thought about this and go, okay, the easy one is the record-breaking Geelong Port, but it wasn't that. Like, that was all right. Like, they broke a drought. People were talking about it. People loved it. Billy Brown listening to tears on the sideline. Port Adelaide, they weren't the most likeable team. They were from interstate.
Yeah.
All of those things. They had a lot of unlikable players. Treadrape bowed to the crowd, remember? Previously, all of those things. So it was like, everyone was like, oh, yeah. And Stevie J was up and about, call me Norman. It was kind of cool. Nathan Ablett got a free medal, which was nice. That was good. So like, all of those things happened. It was great, but it was a good one. Then I looked and I'm going, who has been the disappointing team? And I go, okay. I looked at the Richmond one against GWS. I said, no. I'll set you the stage. It's a sunny day on the MCG.
Oh, I know.
It's a sunny day on the MCG. We've gone through 2 years of COVID. It's the first time we're back at the MCG. Robbie Williams has just delivered the best pre-game entertainment since the Killers and probably ever. Both teams have elite talent. Both teams have had big years and hit the stages. Geelong versus the Swans. The jumper clash is beautiful. All boxes ticked.
Yeah.
Then Sydney.
Tom Hawkins kicks a couple of goals out of the ruck in the first quarter.
Sydney rolls out one of the most putrid performances ever in a grand final, and all neutral fans are just flattened.
Yeah.
So for me, that is the biggest AFL whack with pure disappointment behind it. I think that's a good one.
Yep.
All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at boxing because boxing produces a lot of one-sided. And this is from a personal one. Easy thing to do is go like Tyson Spinks. I can go Mike versus Mike Spinks. I could do that. That's easy. It was over. It's not that though. What I want to talk about is Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was a star. If you haven't seen Lennox Lewis's early stuff, I recommend watching. He used to move really well. He got a little iconic as he got older because he was just better than everyone. But Lennox was one of the best heavyweights of the modern era, right up there and beat everyone. He was fighting a guy called Andrew Gallardo, who was a Polish guy, but really touted to go really well. Blokes like, man, we were young, paid the money for main event. You go and sit down there.
Oh, no.
Comes out and annihilates this bloke in 95 seconds. It was over in a minute and a half. It was absolutely brutal. Like, the cost per minute on pay-per-view was more than the phone sex line. I'll tell you, it was absolutely ridiculous. So, and for everybody watching, the initial excitement, because you loved Lennox Lewis, it was like, we just sat here. The undercard wasn't great. Now, what are we going to do? Like, it was, you wanted 12 rounds. Sure. So it was flattening. All right, next. I headed over to the States. I headed to the States. This is quite incredible. In 1901, this is American football, 1901 Michigan, the Wolverines. In 1901, in the NCAA, this is just stiff. The Michigan Wolverines went 11-0, scoring 501 points. Guess how many points were scored against them?
50.
0.
Wow.
They didn't concede a point in their 11-0 season. Then there of course be postseason, but back then it was the first ever Rose Bowl. But this is weird. They didn't win the conference title; they tied it with Wisconsin, who also finished 9-0. So Wisconsin played 2 less games, and they somehow didn't play each other. They were the only 2 teams that didn't play in this conference, and then they tie. So they've won 11-0.
Yep.
And 501 haven't conceded a point, but they're not the champions. They're co-champions.
Yep.
So then it's the first ever Rose Bowl.
Yep.
So the Rose Bowl invite, of course, Michigan to play
Wisconsin.
Stanford. Wisconsin not invited. And then they beat Stanford 49-0.
Wow.
So that was just an absolute annihilation, but then just disappointment across the board. Could we just talk about an absolute blunder in sport?
That's just a bizarre scheduling. Like, what? Do we know the reasons why they didn't pick the
other
other team?
I don't know,
that
but
was
I'm
undefeated?
guessing that ancestors of Nick Ryan might have been involved in that, because that is absolutely bottling it.
What was Stanford's record?
I didn't even bother looking because they lost 49-0. All right? This is the research I do for this show, Simon. I went down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's deep.
Next one. The 2010-11 Ashes. I had to go to cricket. England came out to Australia, and they were stacked. They were ready to go. We didn't have our best team, but we were hopeful. We drew the first, but it was at the Gabba.
Yep.
We got hope. We can do this. We can win the Ashes. No. I then went to Adelaide and sat in this mess for 2 days. Watched us get skittled on day 1. Late to the ground on day 2. Had to go, like, just working through it. So I missed the only wicket, which was the Bollinger wicket, and then had to watch Cook and Peterson put hundreds of runs on us in 40-degree heat. Went out for a piss and missed the only other wicket for the day that Harris took.
Oh, gosh.
It was an annihilation, and then they won 3-1. They beat us 3-1 in that series in Australia, home soil. We had to watch, like, the whole thing was, it was just an abomination.
As bad as it gets.
As bad as it gets. All right, and the last one, which is completely me, and I'm saying this one in jest. The dominant display, which happened over 20 times, was Winks winning. Because I was never on that fucking horse. I never won a cent on Winks.
It was pretty hard to beat.
And she won every time. In fact, I can double over on that. I'm also the only person I know that lost money on black caviar.
How?
Because I bet on the futures for her to win the 1,000 guineas, and then she got that injury and didn't race, and it was an all-in market. Now, others would have been on, but I don't know any of my mates that were done. So great horses in general in Australia that win by lengths that we can't get on.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, like, it was so fun watching Winks, but unless you're in the ownership group, you're literally just cheering her and going, that's awesome, but great. I can't win because you're paying $1.05.
Yeah.
And I thought, as punters, that was a fair one to have in there.
Yeah.
So any great racehorse, Winx is the best of them, let's be honest, that wins. Because Mackay Diva, we still got $4 every time.
Yeah.
I mean, and we even got double your money in the Cox Plate, which was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I want a little bit on Black Caviar, but not Winx. Because I just didn't bother. Because you've told $20.
Black Caviar was a little bit easier because we're getting 20s and 30s. And also, we got the overseas one, and they did a lot of specials around that. And early on, there was a couple. Like, Winx was just too dominant.
100%.
There you go. That's my 5.
That was good.
Landslides that come with disappointment.
Before we go, we have a pondering. The other famous Patterson has delivered.
Which Pato?
This is Adam, not Aaron.
Great. Just to, you know,
just 100%. So
we were not going to say she's a fan of the show, are we? No, we don't.
I hope she hasn't listened.
I'm fine with her listening. She can hear this, but allegedly. But the thing is,
what if she said that your cooking motivated it?
Well, that's not true because she didn't use all 3 coloured capsicums in it.
You don't know. She didn't.
Mate.
Yeah, imagine if it was just the dish was just mushrooms. There's nothing else.
Eat.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on. So Pato's got an election focus for his pondering, which makes sense. Pato is always very topical. Well, not always, actually. He sent a few through, but one that I just wanted to talk about, which I thought was important, and that was, what about this is just a pondering, right? There's I just want your views, but what about the types of people that go to those official after party events?
Oh, we had,
and
are they just discussion?
Are they just massive weirdos?
Yeah, I had this discussion. This is, it is. So, okay, for people in sport, we're going to put this in, this is the equivalent. So the people that are at those events that aren't officially like in the party.
Yeah.
So the people who just go to those events as supporters are, in AFL parlance, the cheer squad.
Yeah.
So you have to be that sick for it.
But my question to you before you keep going, what's weirder? Going to like the Albanese or the Dutton if he'd won one, or going to like your local members one? So like, for instance, Monique Ryan she had hers at the your favourite pub, the Auburn. She had that at the Auburn.
How dare
What
she?
type of person is rocking up to Monique Ryan's Auburn Hotel celebration?
So what would she have done? Would she have hired like the back bar?
Well, they all did it. So the reason I said Amelia was because Amelia Hamer is who she was going against. She's the Liberal one. She did hers at the Tower.
The Tower 24-hour.
Well, are you across that though?
No, I'm across the Tower being 24 hours and being a pokey gang.
Have you driven past the Tower?
No, what's happening?
There's a big sign out the front, like bagging Monique Ryan. It's like about her siding with Labor Party on 77% of times, and the guy's been like there've been protests out the Tower because the guy's like fuck Monique Ryan. So that's why the person who's going against her, Amelia Hamer, has had hers there. But anyway, my point is,
I love the
people
Tower.
were at the Tower thinking that Amelia Hamer had lost to celebrate her, and then people were at the Auburn celebrating Monique Ryan, which may have ended up being hollow because she may not win. But my point is, what is weirder? Going to like your local pub to celebrate some local member who's going to do fuck all for you, or going to the Prime Minister's winning thing?
No. Like if you were able to be in the location and get an invite, because I'm assuming it's invite only to go to the Prime Minister's one.
What if you're at the Tower and you're playing the pokies anyway?
Slaps.
And then you all of a sudden
I'd be frustrated. I'd be rather bet that than at the other one. But like the other one would be, they'd be insufferable. People celebrating they've won and they haven't won yet.
Amazing.
Would be like, again, you're going the early crow. Okay, so
talk me through this.
Okay, so did they hire the pokey part out as well?
I don't know.
Because you can't, like the pokey, that's sacred, right? So the pokies needs to be for proper pokey players. You need, so I mean, like that's, and the smoking area that's out of it, all of that. So I'm assuming that it must have been like when you go and you go,
well,
right.
There's the dining room.
The dining. They would have had the whole dining room. It doesn't feel big enough.
No.
The Auburn must have been the back bar. Must have been the
potentially.
That would be, because the Auburn's huge now. So they must have gone the back bar. My bigger question is, like, there'd be so many people just there having dinner or watching the footy.
Yeah. You'd be annoyed if you just went in to watch Collingwood Geelong. And
Great game.
You were met with.
But that's what I mean. I reckon they'd be in a separate thing. I think it's really weird. Yeah, but if you were able to go to the newly elected Prime Minister's like party, that would be something you go, oh my God, I went to this event.
Yeah.
And it was like a Prime Minister's party and it was like an experience.
Would you hold up the sign? Would you hold up those signs?
No, well, of course not. I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't put on the T-shirt. I wouldn't do any. I wouldn't want to be involved in any of that shit, right? I mean, it's not for me. Politics is not my go. But then, like you're local, you're right. They don't. I don't. What you don't know, and that's the other thing is that these people probably feel like they know them, and mate, and the whack jobs that actually hand out the brochure and work for these mobs, like it's.
Yeah, you get real sort of young libs vibes out of these people.
Yeah,
like
and
the career politicians, you know, debating champions at school.
Yeah, it's not. It's yeah.
It's not.
Do you grab all of them, all of the pamphlets? Because if you're going to vote, you need the pamphlet because you don't know the preferences.
Wally, I've told you this. I've never voted at a voting booth.
Oh, that's right, of course.
I've only ever done a postal vote.
Would you grab them all so no one knows who you're voting for, or would you just be one of those that goes, no, give me that one? Give it the Bailey Smith bird as you're walking past.
I'd probably just grab the one that I wanted, I think, and just be really like, no, thank you to the one that I don't. Like, you need to be classy about it. Like, I know they're annoying, but I just don't want to be rude to someone.
It's fine if you've only got a couple. Like, where I went, there was only two. Okay. There was literally blue and red. There was no one else.
Yeah.
There was only blue and red because it was quiet as.
Are you Higgins?
Chisholm, I think.
Ah.
Everything's changed.
Yeah.
I think it's Chisholm. And the other thing is we've moved since the last election.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is the whole thing. I'm sure it's Chisholm.
Okay.
But anyway, well, I don't know. I would think that I'm not going to any sort of political party. I think going to your local member one is unless you know them personally, it's actually cooked.
Agreed. So moving on from that, so that's Pato's pondering. One thing he wants us to do next week, or maybe even this week, I just didn't get to it. After we chatted about that particular politics stuff, he said, I want you guys to give me a top 5 list, so an honest list. He listens to it every week and still hasn't picked up the name of the segment, but that's Pato. Best jobs to take your kids to work for a day.
Oh, that is so good.
It's a great idea, isn't it?
It is so good.
Yeah. So I think let's go away over the next week and have a think about that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's so good.
It's good from Pato.
Yeah.
Well, look, Wally, good luck. This is a big week for you with Mother's Day on a number of different fronts.
I'm excited.
You can't win, but you can definitely lose, I reckon.
That's what I say. Yeah, you can't.
Plenty to lose, not a heap to gain. Just be good. Don't stuff it up. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can't win the premiership, maybe you can lose it. So that's what they say. It's so cool.
Very good. Oh, good luck. Hopefully it's all a success. Look forward to hearing about it. And go the Saints.
Go Hawks.